Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Factorio. I hope you're having a wonderful day because I'm incredibly excited to be playing Factorio. A lot of you have been requesting this game for the last couple of weeks and months, so I decided recently to go ahead and buy it. I then decided to live stream it for about 5 hours and play it for another 2 hours after that stream. And that's all I've put into this game. I've put 7 hours into it to learn the most basic controls, get some of the most basic mechanics down, but other than that, this Let's Play is very much going to be about my experiences with learning Factorio. And I want to say that right at the beginning because there are likely going to be moments throughout this series where you're going to want to pull me from the screen and beat me senseless, and that's okay, as long as you don't actually do it. So let's go ahead and play a new game. We're going to go with the standard settings here. We're going to have peaceful mode turned off because that would be boring otherwise. And we'll generate a world and see where we begin. We begin on the coast, apparently. There is some coal over there. There is actually copper in here underneath all of these trees. There's some stone to the north west there, but I'm not seeing any iron, which kind of makes me think that this might not be an amazing start. Am I actually stuck here amongst the trees? I might be. Oh, there's iron over there. Okay. Well, this definitely isn't an amazing start, but I'm actually going to roll with it because on the map here, there's iron up to the northeast. It's kind of far away, but I think I can make this work. Having this big coal vein here is going to be kind of useful. So let's zoom in a little bit. And I want to go ahead and throw a burner mining drill right here. Now, what that's going to do is that is going to use any coal that's put into it to go ahead and mine more coal. I'm going to use this stone furnace right here as basically storage for the time being. So let me just go ahead and mine a little bit of coal there and throw it into the drill, and what it's going to do is start spewing out coal into that furnace. Like I said, the furnace is just being used as storage for the time being. I'm going to mine a little bit more coal here so I can throw it into that and keep it functioning. The burner mining drill will mine several units of coal for every 1 unit that it burns, and it's also not going to feed itself with coal. There are some mechanical devices such as the burner inserter, which we'll get to in a little bit, which will feed itself if you give it some coal. Again, I'll explain all of that in just a little bit, and you'll sort of hopefully get to grips with what's going on in time, I guess. As time goes by, hopefully you're going to get a bit of an understanding of what's going on with Factorio. Now, what I'm doing at the moment is going ahead and mining out a bunch of iron ore. This is something I could automate later down the line. It's something I'm absolutely going to automate a little bit later down the line, but I want to get myself 18 bits of iron ore because I can put that into the furnace. I can make myself some iron plates, and those iron plates are going to be useful for making more burner mining drills, and I'd absolutely like to make some more of those. I would like to go ahead and make several more of those. I would like to put one more in here for coal mining, and I'd also like to set one up over in the iron field there so I can get some of that being mined without my attention being needed, I suppose. I'm also going to need to, at some point, spend some time to chop down some of these trees. I mean, I get some wood from it, and I can use wood as a fuel source, but that's not necessarily something I'd like to do. I'd rather just chop this down because there's a lot of copper under there, and because I'd kind of like to get to it. And it's also a bit of a pain having to run through the trees like this and try and dodge them. So I think as time goes by, I will manage to thin out that forest. Now, what I'm doing at the moment is just heading up here because I need to get myself 10 pieces of stone. And then we can head back to the coal field, I suppose. We can throw a whole bunch of the iron ore that we have into the furnace. And we can make ourselves, I do believe, 2 more of the burner mining drills. So if we head over this way, back where we came from, I am going to need to set some stuff up on the copper at some point. Copper is going to be incredibly valuable later in the game. It's useful at the moment because we are going to need to make circuits, but it's definitely much later in the game that copper becomes kind of vital. Now let's go ahead and throw some iron ore in there. I'm also going to go ahead and just grab some of the coal from this if I can. Let's see. Let's just do that. Let me just do that and throw a bunch of coal into this so that it'll get running again. Now let's go ahead and grab some of the iron plates there. And what I can do is already go ahead and make 2 stone furnaces, which we do need for the 2 burner mining drills. But interestingly, what you can do with Factorio is you can make something even if you don't technically have all the components. For example, a burner mining drill needs 3 iron gear wheels, needs 1 stone furnace and 3 iron plates. However, if I have the raw materials, which is 5 bits of stone and 9 of the iron plates, it'll go ahead and queue up all of the crafting that's needed. So it'll craft the iron gear wheels, it'll craft the furnace, and then make the drill. So I don't need to go in here and say that I'm going to craft iron gear wheels. It's going to do it all for me, which is absolutely beautiful. I love that. Now let's go ahead and queue up the 2 mining drills just there. As you can see at the bottom left, it has queued everything up quite nicely. One of them has been made there. And what I'm going to do is actually pick this one up and I'm going to turn it around. So the arrow you can see on it there is where it's going to dump out the coal. So what I'm going to do is set one there and set one there so that those 2 are facing each other. And what that's going to do is set it up in such a way that we basically have these 2 infinitely feeding each other. And like I said, each bit of coal that's burnt will get us a lot more coal in return. So I can just pop into these and grab coal when I need it, which is exactly what I'm going to do. So let me go ahead and get some coal from that. Let me dump it in there. And I guess I can go ahead and set this drill up over on the iron field. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and grab this as well, because I'd like to set up a small automated system to get me some of the iron plates. So this is going to go there, the furnace is going to go there, and this is half of it's going to go in there, half of it's going to go in there, and that's going to get me an automated system making iron plates, which is totally fine by me. So that's going to get me some of those, which is good and reliable. We have this getting me a whole bunch of coal, which is super good news as well. And I guess at this point, what we need to do is get more stone so I can set up similar systems for mining stone and also mining copper, because copper can be smelted into copper plates, much in the same way that iron can be smelted into iron plates. Stone can be smelted into stone bricks, but I don't think that's something we need to do at the moment. We're gonna need those later, but I just don't think we need them right now. I'm also pretty convinced that the pink there on the map might be aliens, which is worrying because I don't know if I can reasonably fight them. Can I put my pistol on my hotbar? Like, what does it do? How do I actually how do I use my pistol? I actually haven't ever used a gun in this, so I'm going to very quickly look up the controls. Let's see, anything on Q. So it's Q for weapons. I still don't know how that works, though. How do I use the weapon? So it's Q for weapons. It is space to shoot an enemy. Really? Oh, geez. Okay, so I can... Okay, right, that's fine. So that's cleared that up. That's totally fine. Just wanted to figure that out. So let's go ahead and start mining this. We're gonna need, I do believe, 10 bits of stone, since it is 5 per furnace, and we want to get 2 more furnaces, so we can get some on the stone here, and so we can get some on the copper as well. There is definitely plenty of copper about. There's copper right here on the map, as you can see. There's copper to the south of the lake as well, and also to the southeast a little bit there as well. Now let's see. We have got 10 stone. We could make the 2 furnaces. We need the iron to make those, however, which is a bit of a pain. I think what I might do is try and make some iron chests so that we can have the burner mining drills set up to dump anything that they mine into chests automatically. So the stone that we mine will be put into a chest automatically. Same with any copper that we mine as well. That seems like a pretty good idea to me. Now these guys are still infinitely feeding each other, or are they? This one I think is full, which is why this one isn't actually mining. But that's okay. They can just keep doing what they're doing. This guy over here, of course, is doing a pretty good job. Got 39 iron plates in there, which is beautiful stuff. Let's go ahead and craft 2 of the burner mining drills. I'd also like to... I could start looking into burner inserters, which is definitely tempting, but I want to get 2 of the iron chests instead, because those are going to be incredibly useful. And then we're going to head back over this way again, although I could maybe go to the copper field to the south, because I wouldn't have to clear the trees on it, and it would be much, much easier. I think I might go for this copper field. This just seems, well, then again, the stone that I want to use is all the way up there, and that is the nearest field of stone, so I think using everything sort of around this side of the lake is going to be the easiest thing, because I can just spend some time clearing out these trees and everything will be okay. It's just at the moment it's a little bit inconvenient, but I guess since I am just starting out, I don't have that much room to complain about inconveniences. I have to make the world my own and all that. I have to make it good, I have to make it work, so that's going to be my plan here. Let's go ahead and just clear out some of this. See if I can just chop away and get myself a little path through the trees. Let's chop that one as well. There we go. That seems like a good little dent in all of this. Eventually we'll, go through this whole thing, but for the time being, let's just go to this little corner of copper right here. That's some good little alliteration right there. This little corner of copper. All right. So knock all these trees down a little bit, and let me go ahead and grab one of these ones as well, because it's kind of in my way. There we go. I want to put this miner just there, with the chest in that spot. Then I want to head up this way as well and do a similar thing, so I'm going to have a fairly consistent supply of everything that I want. So that can go just there, and that can go just there. And I'm actually going to use some wood for the time being, because I might as well. So some wood is going to go ahead and fuel that, which should be dumping stone into that chest, which it absolutely is. Similar story is going to go ahead with the miner over here. So just dump half of that in there like so. Wood isn't very efficient when it comes to being a fuel, but just because I had it in my inventory and I would have had to run back here, I figured I'd grab it. So let's go ahead and grab that coal, which is going to be much more efficient. And let me head down this way, because I imagine that this burner mining drill is probably going to be out soon. Let me go ahead and just split some of that a little bit. There we go. Put some of that in there. This is being an absolute pain. This just seems really inefficient. Give me like 15 to put in there. There we go. 49 iron plates in there is not bad at all. Let me put those in my inventory. Because I would quite like to go ahead and start working out some other things to do, because we do need to get some manufacturing going on at some point. I would quite like to work towards things like the offshore pump, because those can lead into boilers, which can lead into steam engines, which will generate electricity, which is going to be very, very useful indeed. We're also going to want to look at things like electronic circuits, which require copper plates. So let's see what the next step's gonna be. Honestly, it probably is gonna be burner inserters, and possibly also transport belts, because I'd kind of like to set up a bunch of transport belts to bring all of my resources towards me into sort of one central area. If I could bring all my resources, even though it's going to be an absolute pain in the butt to bring stone all the way over here, it would be nice to set up some conveyor belts to just bring everything to, a row of 4 chests over here. Although I don't know how efficient that's necessarily going to be, because then I'd have to set up all of my machines based on the storage, so maybe I won't do that. Let's see then. So, I guess I want to start setting up manufacturing. I think that's really going to have to be the gist of it. So, let's go ahead and see if we can automate the process of making the iron, and also automate the process of fueling all of this. So we're going to want to set up something where we probably need a couple more of the burner mining drills, which means we're going to need some stone, which means we have to trek all the way back over here. But what I'm thinking is, if we can automate the production of the, or mostly automate the production of of the what do you call it? The plates, the iron plates and the copper plates. Don't know why I couldn't think of the words there, but if we can automate the production of those, it'd be absolutely fantastic. Now let's go ahead and grab all the stone up here. Still plenty of wood left. That's actually proving to be relatively efficient. I guess shut my mouth because I was incredibly wrong. Let's go ahead and grab some copper from there as well. And let's go ahead and see what we can do then, because we do need to get another burner mining drill on the go. I would like to get some transport belts on the go as well. We're going to need those. We're also going to need some of the burner inserters, which is going to require some iron plates. So we're going to head back over this way. I really probably should have went with a different spawn. I probably should have scrapped this map when I had the chance, but I'm committed at this point. So let me go ahead and let me get a furnace on the go. Gonna need one of those. I want to put the furnace into this spot, right in the middle. I also want to go ahead and make an iron chest. And I want to put the iron chest just, I'm going to say there, I think. Which is probably okay. That's probably fine. I'll go ahead and throw the iron chest there anyway. And what we're going to need is, I guess, 2 burner inserters. And what we're going to do with those is we're going to set one up there. Now the arrow is where it's going to put stuff. So it's going to pull stuff out of this furnace and put it in that chest. This arrow is going to put stuff into the furnace. So what I need to do is I need to put one of these mines into about that location, I think. I do believe it's that location. We'll see what happens, I suppose. So that's going to go there, and I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that furnace completely. So what I'd like to do at this point is put a couple of conveyor belts like this, and that's going to start dumping stuff out onto that conveyor belt, which is absolutely the plan here. I'd then like it to... Can I get more of these? I absolutely can. There we go. So we'll get a bunch of the conveyor belts made. I want this to come up to, I think, that spot. I think that's where it needs to be. I might not have gone high enough with this, but we'll soon find out. So that comes across to just there, which is perfect. Although I wonder, can I set this up like this? Now that might seem a little bit weird, but what I want to do is bring some coal over from this side and bring it down like this. And the reason I've done that, the reason I've done it this way, is because the iron is on this side. It's on the right side of the conveyor belt. Any coal coming out of here is going to be on the right side coming down. So they're going to be in different sides of the conveyor belts, meaning they're not going to block each other up, which is what we don't want them to do. So if I dump some coal in there, what you're going to see is this. Did you feed yourself with coal? I think that burner inserter might have fed itself with coal. But you'll see this inserter, which is currently out of coal, interestingly. There we go, we'll feed it. It's going to start feeding this furnace. And that furnace is going to start producing plates, and then this inserter is going to put them in the chest. Now I can press Alt, I think, and it's going to show me what's in there. This inserter is going to need some fuel. So let's go ahead and throw that in there. These are relatively inefficient, by the way, these inserters, because they do need coal. The idea here is that we would go ahead and actually have it set up in such a way that we have electricity and we have electrical inserters, which are just regular inserters. We'll get those eventually. But this is basically, this is the most basic thing you can do in Factorio. You set up an automated production line for something like this, basically. Although I realize I could have done this in a bit of a better way, which would have been making more burner inserters and having a line of things here, which would be making me all of the iron here, which is very tempting. There is a bit of a better way to do this, but for the time being, I think this is probably okay. Now let me get rid of that conveyor belt there because it's a little bit unnecessary. This is fine for the time being. That's going to produce some iron plates, and it's going to automatically fuel itself. This inserter is going to automatically fuel itself as well. This one isn't. which is a bit of a pain, but we'll not worry too much about that. I could set it up to automatically fuel itself, but that's completely unnecessary. The idea is that we go for electricity. So, speaking of electricity, we do need to get some electronic circuits. We do need to get some pipes. We need to get some iron gear wheels. So let me go ahead and grab some of this. And we also need the electronic circuits, which means we need to start smelting copper. Which, admittedly, is a little bit more of a pain to do because the copper's over here. But what I'll do is just manually go ahead and smelt the copper. So I'm going to put a furnace there. I'm going to put some copper ore into it. I'll put some wood into it as well. We'll start smelting that and we can work towards automating things a little bit better once we have electricity. I don't think I want to go too heavily on coal power for things. I don't think there's much point because what's going to happen is as soon as we get electricity, we have to go in and tear everything apart anyway because coal power is better. Basically, that's the gist of it. So let me make an offshore pump. Let me make... We're actually going to need a few boilers and we're going to need a few steam engines because I think it is 14 boilers to 10 steam engines and that's a pretty golden ratio. So, yeah, that's going to take a bit of work. That's going to take a bit of time, but I think that's the way we're going to have to do things. Unless I maybe want to go, 7 boilers and 5 engines to begin with. I mean, we can just go 1 to 1. We'll get 1 boiler, 1 engine, and that'll do for the beginning. So we'll do that. We're also going to want to get ourselves... Yeah, we're going to want to get ourselves small electric poles. So let me come over here and get some wood. Absolutely going to need some of that. And we'll head over here. We'll go ahead and put in a pump there. We can put a boiler there and an engine there. And that's all hooked together. Now, the one thing to keep in mind is that boilers do need fuel. So we're going to have to set up a system here where coal is going to be brought down here and fed into the boiler automatically. Now, that's one situation where if we weren't already generating the electricity, it would make sense to use a burner inserter because it's just going to keep, feeding itself electricity. But that's completely unnecessary because the point is to make electricity. So I'm going to make 3 regular inserters just there. I'm going to make as many of the electrical poles that I can make as well. And what I'm going to do... Actually, no, you still need fed coal, so we still need to bring coal down here. I think the point I was trying to make there was it would be okay to use a burner inserter here permanently, but we're not going to do that. We're going to fuel this, which is going to start, producing warm water for the steam engine. Steam engine is eventually going to start working, although it's only ever going to generate what it needs or generate the maximum amount of power that it can. That's one thing to keep in mind with power. This is not going to max itself out if it doesn't need to max itself out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a regular inserter just there. I'm going to put one of these power things just there, and that's not working because it's powering that inserter. But what I'd like to do is go ahead and start bringing some power cables up this way. And I'm going to need more of those, so I'm going to need some more wood. I'm also going to need to get myself some more copper as well. But what I'd like to do is go ahead and replace the 2 burner inserters that we have up towards the current smelting operation, and then I think I might leave it there for today. Bit of a short episode to begin the series, but I don't want to have part 1 be a 45-minute to 60-minute commitment for everybody. So we'll go ahead and just replace that. We'll go ahead and do that as well. We need some copper cables, so give me those. And let me go ahead and make 5 of those towers, which I believe is going to be 10 of them instead because you get 2 per thing. So go ahead and do that. Then, oh, that didn't actually place. Do that, do that, do that, and that's a little bit of a pain that that's not actually going to work properly. So we'll do that, and then we'll do that kind of thing. So those are not going to work, and those are actually faster than the inserters that we had before them. So that's electricity. We are now generating electricity, and we are running these inserters off of electricity. The next goal is going to be to get electric mining drills, because that means that these don't need to run on coal anymore. For example, the iron one isn't even running at this point. I'm also going to just grab some coal from here because I can throw that into the into the iron drill there. It would be nice to get some power to the drills so we can run those off of electricity, or rather, it would be nice to upgrade the drills so we can run them off of electricity, but that's going to be something we do in the not too distant future, because I think we actually have the materials to, build 2 of the electric mining drills. Yeah, that's something that we'll do eventually. Definitely something we'll do eventually. Either way, ladies and gents, I'm gonna leave it there for today. I'd say we've got a decent little start going here. We've got the basics of automation going, which is totally fine. Next time, I would like to expand things. I'd like to start researching things as well, so we can get better technologies. I obviously want to increase the power production. I'd like to go ahead and get more of these axes as well, because those are going to be very, very useful. But next time, I think we'll put a bit of a focus on research. I'd also like to maybe see if we can automate the copper smelting process. We might try and clear out some of these trees and bring a conveyor belt over so we can automate the copper smelting process as well. If we do some research, we can also get a splitter, which means we can have 2 lines of coal coming out here. One could be going to, for example, the furnace over here. We'll see what happens. But that's going to be it for today. So thank you kind of for watching. This has been Factorio Part 1. If you like the video, like the video. If you dislike it, dislike it. But do remember, this is Part 1. So if you want to see more of this, you're going to have to let me know. Thank you kind of for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.